Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm filming this in my bathroom, and let me know if the audio is better. I know that previous audio, needed some work. So today I want to talk about something that I saw the other day that I've been noticing in myself, that I notice in other people, and it's just a concern that I have for like my generation in general, that I think we all need to pay attention to. And especially if you're somebody that considers yourself a creative, then you're going to want to listen to this, because it's so simple but it's just so true. And if you can kind of deal with this in a proper way and manage it, at least, we can't completely escape it, but if you can at least learn how to manage this, then you're going to find yourself feeling more creative and having less anxiety. And focus is something that you have to cultivate in today's day and age. It's not something that comes naturally anymore, because we just have so many things coming at us at all times. So what I'm referring to is the fact that a lot of us are overstimulated, and also not only that, but we're addicted to cheap dopamine. And I've been kind of listening to a lot of other creators talk about this topic, and there's the whole thing of oh, the dopamine detox, or and that's basically, the dopamine detox is when you just completely try to starve yourself of any kind of dopamine. So that would be like smoking cigarettes, or using your phone too much, or DoorDash, whatever it is that's giving you that kind of instant gratification. The point of dopamine detox is to kind of rid yourself of that habit, which brings me to my next point, my main point of this video, which is that I think there's a relationship between being overstimulated, being addicted to cheap dopamine, and motivation behind chasing your dreams and making things happen. And it's because when you are addicted to cheap forms of dopamine, when you are overstimulated and you're lacking focus, you're lacking that drive to be creative, to use your imagination, which is a big part of being creative. It's a big part of basically doing anything, because before you can even go for any goal, you have to have that image in your mind, which is basically imagination. So when we're addicted to our phones, when we are dependent on these external short bursts of happiness, which alcohol is a good example of this. How many times are we stressed and then we have a drink and then we feel better temporarily, but it doesn't actually solve the core issue? A lot of people fall into addictive behaviors because they're feeling a lack of purpose in their life. And that happens to me too. I'm not excluded from this role. So learning how to manage that is going to help you stay more focused, and it's going to help you basically achieve things. And you cannot develop confidence without having a past history of things to note that you've achieved, if that makes sense. You get confidence from accomplishing things, from proving to yourself that you're able to do things that are difficult. So for example, if you're on a fitness journey, and I feel like when it comes to wellness, when it comes to fitness, it's natural for your weight to fluctuate. It's natural for your goals in this arena to fluctuate. You have to kind of go with the flows of how life is. So I'll use myself as an example. Basically, at one point I was super focused. I was seeing results from my workouts, and I was happy with my body image. But this was a result of literally having discipline, learning what works for me, and sticking to it for a long period of time. Okay, it wasn't something that came easily, even though it's a weird phenomena that once you succeed at something, people think that it was easy for you, and it's no. And so whereas where I am right now is I'm trying to get back to the place that I was when I was achieving those things. And lo and behold, I'm having to rediscover how to have that sense of discipline and that sense of focus. And how am I doing that? By finding ways to basically keep myself not overstimulated, so destimulated or less stimulated, if that makes sense, so that my mind can have space to adapt these new habits. So everything is kind of interconnected in that way. I heard this quote, which is what made me want to talk about this topic, that the main reason that people give up on their dreams is because of instant gratification. So what this means, and it's very concerning and it's very true, I'm just noticing the examples in my own life, you think about your own, it's really true that we have just, in the modern day become so accustomed to instant gratification, which is in essence cheap dopamine. We get these like short bursts of happiness, these short bursts of gratification, and in the end it all amounts to nothing, and it doesn't compare to small things that we do every day that give us long-term success. Long-term success is obviously better than short-term success. We treat life, when we're indulging in these kinds of dopamine behaviors, I don't even know how to phrase it, we treat life as if we're prioritizing our short-term happiness over our long-term happiness. So there's something to be said about that. And why that quote really sticks out to me is because I kind of go through ebbs and flows of feeling very motivated, feeling very inspired, and feeling just completely like I want to give up. And I feel like that's just a pattern for a lot of creatives and for entrepreneurs alike, and just it's a common denominator for a lot of us, right? Like we go through feeling motivated, feeling not motivated, this and that. That's just life, right? But the fact that that's the main reason that people are giving up on their dreams and like losing hope and not feeling motivated to even try, which is like the only way that you'll know if you'll ever attain your goal is if you try. The fact that the reason that's not happening as much is because of instant gratification is enough of a point in itself to just remind us that we have to kind of train ourselves out of being so addicted to that feeling of instant gratification and retraining ourselves to have the discipline to stick things out for the long term. So another example in my life, besides health and fitness, which I'm learning, again, I'm relearning. It's something that I knew at one point that I kind of forgot or just stopped implementing. So, I lost the muscle memory, so to speak, about that. But another example is my content creation journey. It's fun. I love it. I love making videos. I love TikTok. Follow me on TikTok and on Instagram. I love YouTube. I've obviously been doing this for a number of years, almost 5 years now. And, you want to grow. That's the whole point, right? And it can be discouraging when you're not growing and you see other people growing and, it's hard not to compare. And the whole point is that these things take time. That's just the reality. I've been trying to, be more in control of the content that I'm consuming, because if you just let the algorithm control you and just show you things randomly, I notice that sometimes that can really derail me and leave me in just a weird mood, because I'm digesting things that I'm not intentionally trying to, if that makes sense. And it has a way of playing with your emotions and all of this kind of stuff. It's another conversation. It's on the track of trying to follow and watch content intentionally. I've been watching podcasts, I've been watching interviews of people that I admire, people in business, female creatives, authors that I admire like Robert Greene, and this morning I was watching an interview by Cole Gaia. I'll put these in the description if you guys are interested. But guess what? What's the common theme? That these things took time. The people that you look up to that are successful, guess what? It took time. It took years. It takes time, it takes discipline, it takes trial and error, and that's just the reality. And we are in, we're in for a wake-up call if we deny that success and longevity, which is important. You don't want just a short-term success that kind of comes and goes. You want to be successful for the long term. You want to maintain that throughout your life. The truth is that it takes time and it takes work, and let's try our best. One of the things that we can do to stay motivated when it comes to chasing our goals and our dreams, importantly, because guess what? Your dreams can come true. I have a few examples of how this happened for me, and of course you want to keep growing and you want to keep making things happen. But how can we do this if we don't have the focus or the discipline, and if we're giving up because we are addicted to instant gratification? Guess what? This is something that you can control. This is something that you can detrain yourself out of doing. It's a behavior. So how does that look like? It could look like, but it's not limited to looking like not using your phone as much, being intentional about what you're watching, limiting your screen time, what else? Learning how to cook your own food instead of using DoorDash all the time and just getting addicted to that feeling of getting things right away, moderating and and setting limits for ourselves when it comes to alcohol and other things. You know, there's a million ways, but I definitely encourage you to notice the patterns in your own life and see where you can improve in regards to less clutter in the form of overstimulation. So for me right now, what I'm working on is what I'm consuming online, spending less time online, more time creating things that I want to see, things that, you know, I want to share, because that's part of being creative. That's a part of what comes with the fulfillment of chasing your dreams in the long term. I have to put my energy in toward that even when I don't feel like it. And I feel like sometimes our motivation and definitely our attention is hijacked by these things, by these behaviors. So it's something that I'm trying to correct in myself and retrain, you know, that muscle of having the stamina to continue striving for the things that I want to do. Content creation being one of them. So if you enjoyed this video, definitely leave me a like. Let me know if the audio improved, and leave your thoughts about this topic in the description. In the comment box below. My name is Renee, and remember to subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it. Bye.